Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are stepping into a world that is equal parts terrifying, beautiful, and just psychologically complex.
Oh, for sure.
We are cracking open Heir of Illusion by Madeline Taylor. And let me tell you right off the bat, if you are looking for a standard whimsical fairy tale,
Yeah, isn't it?
you are in the wrong place. This is dark, it's gritty, and it features one of the most fascinating protagonist dynamics we have seen in a long, long time.
Far from a fairy tale. I mean, this is a story about survival, right? It's about the architecture of trauma and the incredibly high price of power.
The architecture of trauma, I like that.
It's a political thriller, really, just wrapped in a high fantasy skin.
Exactly. I want to set the stage for everyone listening because the setting here isn't just a backdrop. It's almost a character in itself.
It really is. It breathes.
So imagine a world called the Verran Isles. There are 7 of them. And in this world, gods are not, distant figures in the sky.
No, they are the literal rulers. They are the government.
Right. You have a god of death, a god of accords, a goddess of divination. They all have their own islands, their own domains.
It's a divine oligarchy, essentially.
It is, which creates a very specific kind of stability.
Well, yeah. If your ruler is an immortal being with infinite power, you don't really have coups.
There are no elections.
No elections. You have eternal submission. That's the deal.
Right, until you get to the 7th Isle, Solmay.
See,
This is where our story takes place. And Solmay is the broken cog in this divine machine.
the anomaly.
Because the goddess who is supposed to rule it, may have been the goddess of illusion, she just vanished 25 years ago.
Poof. Gone without a trace. Just gone.
And that creates a massive power vacuum.
And in geopolitics, a vacuum is never empty for long. Something always rushes in to fill it.
And in this case, that something is a man named King Baylor. And he is definitely not a god. He is a usurper. He's a high fae warlord who basically looked at the empty throne and said,
I'll take that.
that's mine now.
And that illegitimate rule is the engine of this entire story. Because in this universe, the connection between the ruler and the land is, like, metaphysical.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Exactly. So when you remove a divine ruler and replace them with a warlord, a false king, the land itself starts to reject that rule.
The source material is so vivid on this point. It describes famine, failing crops, these violent storms.
Oh, the storms.
There's that one detail about a wave 30 feet high wiping out a coastal village. That's not just weather.
No, that's the planet screaming.
Yes.
It's an autoimmune response. The land is trying to shake off a virus, and that virus is King Baylor.
So you have this rotting kingdom ruled by a guy called the Beast of Battle, and right in the center of his court, you have our protagonist, Lady Iverson. Ivy. And her title, well, it's not queen. It's not princess.
No.
The court calls her the king's pet.
A title that is as derogatory as it is descriptive. It
Right.
it strips her of humanity immediately.
It is brutal. And it's literal. She wears a ruby collar, a literal jeweled collar around her neck that is bound to her with magic. It can strangle her if she disobeys a direct order. But, and here's where it gets really interesting, she is not just a victim.
Not at all.
By day, she is this repressed, collared pet who pours wine, but by night...
By night, she's a vigilante assassin called the Angel of Mercy.
It's a fascinating duality, isn't it?
It really is. You have a woman who has absolutely zero control over her own life in the daylight.
Yeah.
She is literally leashed.
Right.
Yet when the sun goes down, she goes out and exerts absolute lethal control over the lives of abusive men in the city.
It's her way of reclaiming agency.
It's a psychological counterbalance. It has to be.
And just when she thinks she has a handle on this double life balancing, the pet and the assassin walks a myth, a legend, a creature that is supposed to be extinct.
A reaper.
A reaper, Lord Thorne.
Lord Thorne.
And he doesn't just knock on the door. He walks into a room, and shadows literally turn into snakes and start drinking blood off the floor.
I mean, what an entrance.
Right.
It signals immediately that the stakes have changed.
Yeah.
We aren't just dealing with fae politics anymore.
No, this is a whole different level.
We are dealing with death gods and ancient magic.
So we have political intrigue, a dark romance brewing, a magic system based on illusions, and a mystery about a weapon that might be able to kill a god.
We have a lot to unpack here.
We certainly do.
A lot.
Let's start by really digging into the world building because Madeline Taylor has done something. I think it's really interesting with the social structure of the 7th Isle. It feels very tense.
It is a powder keg. Absolutely. Solmare is the capital city, and it's strictly stratified.
You can see the class warfare built into the architecture.
You really can. You have High Grove, which is where the High Fae live. This is nobility.
The 1%ers.
Basically. It's gated, it's lush, it's beautiful. You need blood or incredible influence to get in.
It's the classic ivory tower. While everyone else starves, they're having masquerades.
Exactly. Then you have Midgarden.
Midgarden.
Which is the artistic district, mostly inhabited by half-fae.
So these are people who have magic but not the status.
Precisely. They're sort of looked down on, treated as bastards, often.
And then, at the bottom, you have the dock side, or the lowers. This is where the mortals live.
And the source material makes it so clear that the lowers is a rough place.
Oh, it's grim, it's poverty, it's crime, it's desperation.
And that desperation stems from the top. King Baylor is high fae.
Of course he is.
And he holds onto that hierarchy with an iron grip because he knows his claim to the throne is weak.
Right. He needs his allies.
He relies on the support of the high fae nobility to keep the lower classes in check. But as we mentioned, the food is running out.
Which is a recipe for revolution. I mean, you can oppress people for a long time, but once you start feeding them...
That's when the pitchforks come out.
Yeah.
History tells us that hunger is the most effective revolutionary. And Baylor knows this.
He's terrified.
He is terrified of losing control. He has been waiting 25 years for an heir of the goddess to show up.
So he can theoretically hand the throne back?
Theoretically, being the operative word there.
So I don't buy it for a second. This guy, who calls himself the Beast of Battle, is just going to hand over the keys to the castle?
Oh, absolutely not. Come on. He has spent decades consolidating power. He killed the previous placeholder king, Tristan.
Right.
He has built a regime of fear. The narrative about waiting for the heir is likely just propaganda to keep the religious population from revolting.
It's a PR move.
It's a total PR move.
Yeah.
I'm just the steward. I'm just keeping the seat warm.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
Let's pivot to the magic, because this is the seventh isle, the Isle of Illusion, and the magic here isn't your typical I throw a fireball kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's not at all. It's psychological. It's trippy.
Yeah.
It is. It deals with perception and reality. So you have different classes of magic users. The most common are the Mendaks.
Right, the illusionists.
They're illusionists who can sell hallucinations.
This part really stuck with me. Ivy runs into one in the street. And it's not like a street performer doing card tricks. He is basically a drug dealer.
Yes.
But the drug is a fantasy.
Yes. There's a heartbreaking scene where a man pays a Mendax to hallucinate that he is back with his dead daughter.
That is profound. I mean, think about the economy of that. In a world where life is miserable, where you are starving,
The most valuable commodity isn't gold.
it's escape.
It's escape. And it creates a society of addicts. People are addicted to what could be because what is so unbearable.
That's a form of control in itself.
Totally. If the populace is sedated by illusions, they aren't organizing a rebellion.
That is a dark but brilliant point. Then you have the rarer types of magic. We meet Darrow, who is a major side character. He is an enchanter.
Right. Enchanters can bind magic to physical objects. And Darrow is fascinating because he is a half-fae bastard. Technically a second-class citizen.
But he's rich.
He bought his way into Highgrove because his skill is so valuable,
He makes things like candles that silence a room so no one can overhear you.
which in a court full of spies is worth its weight in diamonds.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Or, my favorite, busts that mock the king.
Uh-huh. Yes.
He uses his magic to gain leverage and protection. It shows that in this world, magic is a currency.
But the most terrifying magic belongs to the king himself. He is Verter. Now, usually that means shifting, right? Like turning into a wolf or a bear.
Correct. For terror usually implies shape-shifting, but Baylor is different.
Very different.
He doesn't just change his shape. He seems to contain a separate entity, a beast inside him.
The text describes it so vividly. When he gets angry, his eyes turn crimson. Actual claws emerge from his hands.
It's described as a monster living under his skin that is constantly trying to get out.
Which is a perfect metaphor for his personality. He is a man barely containing his own violence.
Perfectly put.
But we have to talk about Ivy's magic. Because she isn't a Mendax and she isn't an enchanter. She is a wraith.
Which is incredibly rare.
Almost unheard of.
Yeah, the text implies wraiths haven't been seen in centuries. Ivy can turn invisible at will.
Which is the ultimate survival tool. If you can't be seen, you can't be hurt.
It is. But she can also do something else, something called creating an eidolon.
This was the coolest part of the magic system for me. An eidolon is like a shadow clone, right?
It is a corporeal, living shadow duplicate. She can see through its eyes, she can control it remotely.
So she can be in two places at once.
She can. But the cost is immense. Using this magic causes her physical pain, severe nosebleeds. It drains her life force.
That's a key detail. Magic in this world isn't free.
No.
It takes a toll on the body.
It adheres to the law of equivalent exchange. To create a fake life, the Eidolon, she has to give up some of her own vitality.
And this ability is what makes her so valuable to Baylor.
Of course. He uses her as the ultimate spy and assassin.
She can walk into any room unseen. She can be the fly on the wall.
Or the knife in the dark.
So we have the world, we have the magic. Now we need to look at the woman living in the center of it. Let's do a deep dive on Lady Iverson, Ivy.
Yeah.
Because her psychology is, well, it's a mess, to be honest, but a very understandable mess.
Ivy is a textbook study in trauma response and compartmentalization. We have to remember, she was collared at age 10.
10 years old, just a kid. I can't even imagine that.
A child. Baylor put this ruby collar on her and told her it was to protect her so he could always find her.
Which is classic groomer behavior.
Textbook.
I'm doing this for you. The world is dangerous, and only I can keep you safe.
Exactly. It creates a dependency loop.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of the collar are horrific.
They really are.
If she disobeys a direct order, or even if Baylor just gets angry and loses control of his own magic, the collar constricts.
It heats up.
It heats up. It cuts off her air.
There is a line where she describes it as a noose she has worn for 15 years.
I remember that.
It's not just a physical restriction. It's a constant reminder that her breath is not her own. She breathes at his pleasure.
And her psychological defense against this is profound dissociation. She has this recurring mantra throughout the text.
I feel nothing.
I feel nothing. She describes building a dungeon in her mind, where she locks away her memories, her guilt, her pain, her fear.
That imagery of the mental dungeon is so powerful. It's like she's the warden of her own trauma.
It's a survival mechanism. It has to be. If she felt the full weight of her reality, the slavery, the murders she's forced to commit, the abuse, she would break.
She couldn't function.
No. So she separates Ivy the person from Ivy the weapon.
Yeah.
She's constantly imprisoning parts of herself just to survive the day-to-day.
But she isn't totally broken. She fights back.
She does.
And I love that her rebellion isn't loud. She can't yell at the king. She can't run away. So she finds these small cracks in the pavement.
She rebels in the only way she can. She becomes the angel of mercy. She teams up with a woman named Della, who runs a club called MSQ. And together, they identify abusive men in the city, men who hurt women, men who traffic children.
And Ivy takes care of them. Takes care of them is a very polite way of saying she executes them in alleyways with extreme prejudice.
Hey, fair enough. She executes them.
She does. And what is telling is how she views it. She says she delivers justice for the guilty.
It's a code.
It is a way for her to use the violence she was trained for, but on her own terms. Baylor trained her to be a weapon for him. She is choosing to be a weapon for women who can't defend themselves.
It's reclaiming the narrative. You made me a killer. Fine. But I'm going to choose who I kill.
Precisely. It gives her a sense of control in a life where she has none.
We have to talk about her relationships because they really define who she is. Obviously, Baylor's the villain here.
Baylor is a textbook narcissist and abuser. It's not even subtle. He gaslights her constantly. He tells her, look what you made me do, after he chokes her.
That line.
He isolates her from the court, ensuring she has no allies. He calls her pet in public to dehumanize her, to make sure everyone knows she is property.
And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have Remy, Captain Ramard. Remy is the antithesis of Baylor. He's the captain of the guard, and he trained Ivy in combat. He is essentially her father figure.
The only good man in the castle, it seems.
He really is. He suspects she is up to something. He notices the bruises, the sneaking around, the exhaustion. But his instinct is to protect her, not control her.
There is that really touching moment where he asks her to fight blindfolded during training.
I love that scene.
And it's not to be mean. He senses she is scared of something unseen, something coming for her. He's trying to give her the tools to survive without needing her eyes.
He is her safe harbor. He represents unconditional love, whereas Baylor represents conditional existence.
And then there is Della.
Della, who connects Ivy to her past. They bond over the memory of the late Queen Leona.
Queen Leona was Baylor's wife, who died a year ago. And the text implies Ivy loved her like a mother.
She did. And Ivy carries immense guilt over Leona's death.
We don't get the full story in these first chapters.
Not yet. But we know Ivy blames herself. Della maintains a shrine to the queen at the club.
So, Ivy is anchored by these two people, Remy and Della, who represent the good in her life, the remnants of a better time.
Exactly.
And into this fragile balance comes the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Enter the Reaper. This is the catalyst that blows everything up.
This scene is masterfully written. It's so good. Ivy is at Darrow's apothecary.
Right, the enchanter shop.
She is actually trying to find a way to break the collar. Another act of quiet rebellion. She is asking Darrow about binding spells.
Yeah.
And then the room goes dark.
And not just someone turned off the lights dark.
No. This is a supernatural primal darkness.
The air gets cold.
Shadows start seeping under the door. They form into snakes. And in walks this man, Lord Thorne.
He is described as having massive black-feathered wings that can vanish into his back. That imagery is just, wow.
It signals immediately. This is not a normal fae. This is a reaper, a soul collector.
Beings that serve the god of death, Killian.
And they were thought to be myths or extinct on the Seventh Isle. Seeing one is like seeing a dinosaur walk into a coffee shop.
Huh. Yes. And he catches Darrow. He is interrogating him. And Ivy does her wraith thing. She turns invisible.
Her go-to move.
She thinks, okay, I have the ultimate advantage here.
But Thorne looks right at her.
That gave me chills reading it. The whole page. She is invisible, completely gone to the naked eye, and he looks her dead in the face.
It completely upends her worldview.
Yeah.
Her invisibility is her shield. It is the one place Baylor can't fully reach her. It's her sanctuary.
And this stranger sees right through it, effortlessly.
It strips her of her primary defense.
And not only does he see her, he sees her magic. She creates an eidolon, that shadow clone, to distract him, hoping to slip away.
A smart move, usually.
And he destroys it with a scythe.
A silver scythe. Again, classic Reaper imagery. But the interesting beat here is that when he destroys the eidolon, Ivy feels the pain.
She doubles over.
And Thorne stops. He realizes she is something rare. He doesn't kill her. He's intrigued.
He calls her Angel.
Which is a loaded nickname, considering her secret identity is the Angel of Mercy.
The dramatic irony is just, it's perfect. It's so good.
Seriously. So Thorne isn't just there to terrorize apothecaries. He is on a mission.
He is.
He is looking for a weapon. And this brings us to the central mystery, the Almanova.
This is the MacGuffin of the story. Thorne is searching for a stolen sword called the Almanova, also known as the Whisperer.
The Whisperer. That is a creepy name for a sword. I do not want a sword that talks to me.
It is deeply unsettling, and the description is even creepier. It has a bone handle. It is encrusted with rubies.
And engraved with an old language.
Right. Now, Ivy does some digging in the library because she is resourceful, and she finds a history book that suggests the sword is a godslayer.
A godslayer. Let's pause on that for a second. In a world ruled by immortal gods, the existence of a weapon that can kill them changes everything.
It changes the entire power dynamic of the universe.
It's a nuke.
It is. If a god can die, then their rule isn't absolute. It introduces vulnerability to the divine.
And the legend says Philo, the god of love and hate, used this sword to kill Claudius, the first god of life. And the book says Philo's excuse was,
"The whispers made me do it."
Hence the name. It implies the sword is sentient, that it corrupts the user.
Okay, but here is where it gets really clever.
This is the good part.
Ivy notices something about the drawing of the sword. The rubies on the handle.
They match the rubies on her collar.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's unpack that implication. The collar suppresses her, tracks her, and chokes her. The sword kills gods and whispers to people, and they are made of the same stuff.
It strongly implies a shared origin. And it raises a terrifying question. Is the collar just jewelry, or is it sentient?
Is it whispering to Ivy?
Or is it feeding on her to power something else?
It also offers a theory on how Baylor took the throne.
The leading theory.
If he had this sword, this god slayer, is that how he got rid of the competition? Is that how he scared off the other gods?
It makes sense. If a mortal warlord has a nuclear weapon, the superpowers back off. That sword is his deterrent.
But now the sword is gone.
Stolen.
And Thorne is here to get it back for his master, the god of death.
So the stakes are massive. If Baylor finds it, he keeps his power and likely kills Thorne.
If Thorne finds it, he takes it back to the Fifth Isle, leaving Baylor vulnerable.
And Ivy is caught in the middle.
And the tension just escalates so quickly from there. Ivy is out doing her Angel of Mercy thing. She tracks down a target named Lionel Steiner.
A truly despicable character.
Just the worst. He sold his own daughter into slavery.
He represents the worst of the lowers. Ivy executes him in an alley. It is brutal, efficient justice. But she has an audience.
Thorne.
Thorne.
He catches her in the act. He sees the pet murder a man.
Now, normally, catching the king's pet committing unauthorized murder would be a death sentence, or at least leverage to destroy her.
Right. I'll tell the king what you did.
But Thorne plays it differently.
He realizes he has leverage, but he uses it for a deal.
Exactly. He essentially blackmails her. He says, I know you are the angel of mercy. I know you are the wraith. He wants an alliance.
He doesn't trust Baylor to find the sword. He thinks Baylor is incompetent or hiding it. So he wants Ivy to be his inside woman.
Which puts Ivy in a terrible, terrible position. She is now serving two masters.
Baylor holds her leash, but Thorne holds her secret.
And while this is happening, we see Baylor unraveling. This is important because it shows the villain isn't invincible.
No, he's fraying at the edges. He is physically deteriorating.
Yeah, he is described as having gray skin, sweating constantly. There's a mention that he is sweating blood.
Which is not a good sign. Using the collar on Ivy seems to drain him. It's parasitic.
He's paranoid about betrayal.
Totally. And in a moment that shatters any remaining illusion of loyalty Ivy might have felt, she discovers he is cheating on the memory of the queen.
With Lady Bridget.
And her reaction is so telling. She isn't jealous.
She feels relief.
She feels relief. She says, I feel nothing. It is the moment she realizes she is emotionally free of him.
The trauma bond is breaking.
It is. She doesn't love him anymore. She just fears him. That indifference is the first step toward true freedom.
So Thorne barges into Baylor's study, literally interrupts a moment where Baylor is torturing Ivy with the collar.
And forces a deal. It's such a power move.
It is alpha behavior. Thorne offers grain from the Fifth Isle. Because remember, Solmare is starving in exchange for the return of the sword.
Baylor has to accept. He needs the food to keep the people from rioting.
It's a political corner. So he agrees to let Thorne join the search.
And he assigns Ivy to help Thorne, which is exactly what Thorne wanted.
Exactly.
But Baylor gives Ivy a very specific warning. He shows her a picture of the sword and says,
Never let it touch your skin.
Never let it touch your skin. That is incredibly specific.
It suggests the sword has a corrupting influence, or maybe a binding one, like the collar.
Or maybe it reacts to her specific bloodline.
Ooh, now that's a thought.
So the team is assembled. Ivy, Thorne, Remy, and a bunch of guards.
The Fellowship of the Sword.
And they are heading underground, into the tunnels beneath the palace.
This section is pure atmospheric horror. It's so good. They go deep beneath the palace, and the way they get in...
Oh yeah, Kaldar.
Kaldar, the king's slimy advisor, has to perform a blood spell on a wall to open the door.
A blood spell. Nothing good ever starts with a blood spell.
Never.
It sets the tone immediately. We are leaving the world of high-fae politics and entering something ancient and dark.
The tunnels are damp, filled with rats and bats, and the dynamic of the group is incredibly tense.
So tense.
You have Remy, who hates Thorne. He sees the Reaper as a direct threat to Ivy. He's in full protective dad mode.
And Thorne is just amused by everyone. He's strolling through the darkness like he owns it. But he's also, lethal.
And Ivy is just trying to survive the crossfire. They are looking for the thief, a guard named Grell Darby.
But he is missing. Vanished.
They find a clue, though. There is a collapsed tunnel that isn't on the official map.
And there is a young guard, Kipps, who is acting very suspicious about it.
Kipps is terrified. He claims the collapse happened a year ago.
But Ivy and Remy inspect the rocks.
And they're jagged. The breaks are fresh. This is a recent cave-in.
Which implies someone collapsed it on purpose.
Maybe to hide where they went. Or maybe to keep something in.
Ooh. Creepy. As they're exploring, Ivy's magic starts reacting.
Her collar heats up. It pulses.
And she starts hearing whispers.
The whispers made me do it. The sword is calling to her.
She feels a pull toward a specific staircase that leads to a dead end, but Thorne steers her away.
He hears the voices, too.
So it confirms the sword is down here.
It's close.
So they are standing in front of this collapsed tunnel. It is blocked by rocks, but there is a small hole, a gap near the top.
A hole too small for the big soldiers, too small for Thorne with his wings or Remy with his armor.
But not too small for Ivy.
And this leads us to the cliffhanger. Ivy volunteers to crawl in.
Which is terrifying. I have claustrophobia just thinking about it. Crawling into a pitch-black, unstable tunnel.
Knowing a cursed sword is on the other side.
Yeah.
It is a brave, desperate move. She wants answers. She wants to know what Baylor is hiding.
She is done being the pet. She wants to be the detective.
But Remy is not having it. He threatens Thorne.
That's a great moment. He says, if anything happens to that girl, you will answer to me.
It's a great character moment for Remy, but Thorne insists on going second. He says he is Death's representative, so he goes next.
So the source material ends with this image. Ivy on her hands and knees, crawling into the darkness.
Sandwiched between a deadly reaper and a potential trap, hearing the call of a cursed sword.
It is the ultimate point of no return.
She's literally crawling into the belly of the beast.
Okay, let's take a breath. That is a lot of plot.
It is.
But I want to circle back to the themes here. What is the big picture?
I think the central theme is control versus freedom.
Absolutely.
Ivy is fighting for her autonomy on every level. Physical, emotional, political. The collar is the symbol of control, but her vigilante persona is her expression of freedom.
And the tunnel is a physical manifestation of her journey. She has to go through the dark to find the truth.
Exactly. And then you've got truth versus illusion.
Yes. The book is called Heir of Illusion. The entire kingdom is built on lies.
Baylor's right to rule is a lie. The history of the gods might be a lie. That book in the library contradicts the official story.
Ivy's entire life is a performance.
A performance for an audience of one, a tyrant.
And then there is the question of monsters. Who is the real monster?
That is the question the author wants us to ask.
Yeah.
Right? You have Thorne, who summons snakes and works for death. He looks like a monster.
Yeah.
But he saves Ivy. He keeps her secret.
And then you have Baylor, who is beautiful, golden, the king.
And he's the one who tortures her. He's the one with the beast inside.
It is the classic, don't judge a book by its cover, but with high-stakes fantasy magic.
Precisely.
I want to focus on that final provocative thought before we wrap up. You mentioned the connection between the collar and the sword.
This is what keeps me up at night regarding this text.
Yeah.
The rubies. If the sword is the whisperer, and it drives people to kill gods,
Yeah.
and the collar is made of the same materials,
Is the collar slowly driving Ivy insane?
or is it preparing her for something? Or consider this. Baylor warned her never to let the sword touch her skin. Why? Is it because it would hurt her?
Where?
Or is it because it would recognize her?
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Because we still don't know where the Heir of Illusion is.
We don't. Mabon disappeared 25 years ago. Ivy is 25.
Wait. Stop. You just blew my mind.
I'm just looking at the math. It's right there.
She's 25. The goddess disappeared 25 years ago. Ivy has rare illusion magic that hasn't been seen in centuries.
And a reaper, a being that serves the gods, is fascinated by her. He treats her differently. He doesn't just see a weapon.
If Ivy is the heir,
Then the collar isn't just a leash. It's a dampener. It's a way to bind a goddess's power so the usurper can stay on the throne.
and if she touches that sword,
The game is over.
man, that is a theory and a half. I love it.
It is just a theory, but the pieces fit.
They really do. Wow. And what about Thorne? Is he an enemy?
He is an agent of chaos right now. He serves death, but he seems to be the only one who sees the real Ivy.
Even when she is invisible, he sees her. He sees her. That suggests a connection that goes beyond just politics. He might be her enemy on paper, but in reality, he might be the only one who can actually help her break free.
I think we're going to see that dynamic shift massively once they get into that tunnel.
They get out of the tunnel.
Fair point, if they get out.
You know, one last thing that stood out to me in that tunnel scene was the interaction with the guard, Kipps.
Right. The nervous one.
He was terrified, not just of the rocks, but of the location.
Yeah, he was sweating bullets.
It implies that the cave-in wasn't an accident, as we discussed, but it also implies that the guards know more than they are saying.
They're hiding something.
Baylor runs a regime of fear. If the guards are helping a thief escape or hiding a secret exit, it shows that Baylor's control is crumbling from the bottom up.
That is a great point. The infrastructure of his tyranny is rotting.
Exactly. And Ivy is the spark that is going to blow it all up.
Well, I, for one, cannot wait to see what happens when she crawls out the other side of that hole.
It is going to be explosive. Thank you so much for breaking this down with me. Heir of Illusion is clearly setting up a massive conflict. We have gods, monsters, magic swords, and a heroine who is ready to burn it all down.
It is a fantastic start to a series, a really strong opening.
Absolutely. Listeners, we want to hear your theories. Is Ivy the heir? What is Thorne's endgame? And what is waiting in the dark?
And remember, ignore the whispers.
Good advice. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.